right. It is your girl, TampaMystic, and we are live right here in ATL on a rainy morning on the Hype 87.3. And today, look who I got checking in with me, the Big Dawg Tone himself. What is going on, family? How you doing?
Oh, great. I'm honored to be here. Like we were saying before, certain stops you got to make, and this is the number one stop you got to make before you make it in the industry.
I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Listen, y'all, he came in here looking spiffy today. You know what I'm saying? Give me some love. Let's just kick it off like that. Give us a brief introduction, then we're going to dive in.
Okay, from a small city, Camden, South Carolina. Military, I did 2 deployments to Afghanistan. My first internship was at Soul & Sound Studios. I worked at Quantum Beef Studios. Then I did an internship with Zay, and of course, you know, the internship turned to, actual work, being his marketer. Also, too, I did an internship to work at Authentic Empire, and now I'm the head A&R at Imposition Entertainment. Our clients is 42 Doug, Black Youngster, super producer, Taj Money, Grammy-nominated producer, Hitman Audio, SS Money, and then we got Flex Louder DJ. And then all Coalition DJ member as well.
Look at you. He out here really working. Yeah. He is on his grind for sure. Well, definitely, congrats on all the success that you've been seeing, because you've been putting in that work. So you deserve it.
Yeah. Thank you.
When you work hard, the good things come.
Amen.
Amen. I want to take it back to the military. What branch were you in?
Army.
Army. For how long?
I did 6 years.
Okay. What was that experience like for you? How do you feel like, because my son's in the military, I always like to brag on that because, my son did his time in the military. Yeah, he was Army as well. How did that experience being in the military change who you were as a man?
Ooh, I loved it. Growing up, I didn't really have discipline. And that's what I took from the military. Of course, you kind of get away from it. Especially now, I go straight back to it because I'm like, if I won with that situation, imagine if I incorporate that into my today's life. Like, I got a very disciplined lifestyle. I wake up at 5 o'clock. I work out, so I eat certain things, I take care of myself. I do the same things every day. So I create a discipline. And I think that's what I kind of use in my today's life.
Absolutely. And I find that a lot of men and women who were former military, keep that discipline. Like my son's one of them. He's up early, he works out, he runs marathons. I'm like, dang, So that's good. You're very, very structured.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you're known as the Big Dawg Tone.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us where that name came from and what does it mean to you personally?
Oh man, it's so funny because when I first started off with Zay, it was like Zaytown Tone.
Okay.
And so I couldn't, I loved it. But it was like Zay gave me the name because I was doing his first promo tour, and he wanted all the DJs and people to meet up with me. But it's like I kind of built my brand around that, and I was like, okay, how can I separate myself from Zay? How can I create my own brand?
Yeah.
And he's like, man, Tone, you the big dog. He's like, you doing your thing. And I was like, I like it, so I stuck with it, and you know what I'm saying. I kind of locked, and it just locked in.
Absolutely, I feel like it's great to work with other people, especially someone like a Zaytoven, and adopt their brand. But you want to have your own identity as well. Completely understood.
Yes.
Because not to say that things will ever not work, but what if you do move another direction at some point in time? You know what I'm saying? You want to have your own identity.
Yeah, and that's what happened. Like I still do my thing. Zay, I love Zay. I appreciate it. He's the first one. Shout out Al Nuke Road. They the ones they gave me an opportunity to even do anything in the industry. So I'ma always be Zaytown, you feel me? But it's like I gotta be the big dog or something.
Absolutely. Great group of guys. I remember years back when I was doing artist showcases every week. Al Nuke, Zay, and Ro came out and filmed a scene for Birds of a Feather at my showcase because they needed a performance scene.
Yes.
So they brought their actor out and he got on my stage. So that was just such a dope, to be able to experience that, so I've always got love for them for that.
Yes, I'm forever indebted.
Yeah, 100%. So take us back, growing up in Camden, South Carolina. First, let me ask you, where in South Carolina on the map is Camden for people who aren't aware?
That's 30 minutes away from Columbia, from Fort Jackson.
Got it. Understood. Okay, perfect. So, boom, that's your little geography lesson for today. What influences, experiences growing up perhaps swayed you to want to get involved in this music industry?
It's so funny. I never wanted to do music. That's the crazy thing about it. This is something I never wanted to do. I wanted to do 20 years in the military. That was my plan.
Yeah.
But one day, of course, I got hurt overseas, so I couldn't do it no more. So they, matter of fact, I was trying to go try for Ranger School, and they came to find out that I had like a retinoschisis in the spine. So they instantly medically discharged me.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't even know nothing about it.
Oh my gosh.
And so I was kind of depressed, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, what you want me to do? It's like, do music. But it was so funny that I went to church like years ago before I even thought anything about music. And they was like, yo, you're going to make a lot. A prophet told me you're going to make a lot of money doing music. You're going to help a lot of people. And it was like, at that time, like, man, what you talking about? Like,
sure about
yeah, I was like, I want to be in the military. I want to go to Ranger School. This is what I want to do. But I knew it was going to manifest in something because, like, my first internship was at Solar Sound Studios. And I'm
shout out to Capone, man.
Yeah, right
there,
Capone.
Family.
Yes. I definitely appreciate the game they put me on. I was there for a year. But I knew I was not good. Like I said, I wanted to be a producer and engineer, but I knew my beats wasn't good and my engineering wasn't good.
You do accountability, you know, you're like...
I'm like, nobody's buying my beats. Nobody. So it's like, I gotta find something that's me, that's gonna make, find something, my lane in the industry. And I found my lane in a lot of different things, but now I'm just kind of like strictly locked into marketing. You get what I'm saying? Even though I do A&R work, it's like marketing is my bread and butter. I don't want to be a jack of all trades and a master of nothing.
Understood. Makes perfect sense. And I feel like some people attempt to do too many different things and then things start falling through the cracks. You're not as good at... You have to find things that you're really good at, that you're passionate about, and stick with that. Not to say you can't do multiple things, but, find that one main thing that is like you said, your bread and butter, what you're good at. Marketing is it for you.
Yes. And I have a degree in it, and I have a degree in film as well.
Oh, that is amazing. And I feel like one of the things that a lot of artists lack is promo and marketing. They overlook that. I got the opportunity years back when I first moved to Atlanta to sit down and interview the legend, long live Rico Wade, the founder of the Dungeon family.
Yes.
And, of course, anybody knows Rico knows his history of what he's done for so many artists. And one of the questions I asked him was, what do you feel like a lot of artists are missing or lacking? And he said marketing and promo.
Exactly. They it's like having a pair of shoes and nobody knows nothing about it. You can have the dopest design and everything, but if nobody knows anything about it or wants to fall in love with it, and it's like, who cares? And I think even with me being a film student now, I understand how can I get this artist to tell a story.
Yes.
So I think that's what makes me different now in what I'm doing versus other people that does management and stuff like that or marketing. It's like, how can we tell this story about this product?
Absolutely, because if you turn on the TV or turn on the radio, some of the companies that for a lifetime still pay for advertisement. Yes. McDonald's, we'll use them as a perfect example. Everybody knows McDonald's. Everybody's ate there at some point in time in their life. But they still have billboards. They still have TV commercials, radio commercials. So what makes you think this multi-billion-dollar company still needs to pay for advertising, but Mr. or Mrs. Artist on the Rise don't need to?
Exactly.
Make it make sense.
Exactly. And I still do. My other page got hacked or something like that, and so I had to create a whole new page. And I still put money into my Instagram. Just last week I put money into doing a music festival. Yeah. Of course, the traveling and stuff like that. But I put money into myself because I understand. How can I have this great situation and nobody knows nothing about it?
Listen, Instagram ads and Facebook ads are my best friends.
Yes.
I gain so much business. I get a lot more to mouth, but I would say I gain more from the ads that I run on social media.
Yes. I tell artists anytime. It's so funny. I'm working with an artist right now that's going on tour with Lil Papa, and he keeps trying to do all these, buying these features and everything. I'm like, listen, your page is already marketable. People just don't know about it.
Exactly.
It's like, you don't have to do no more. You don't want on tour with Doug. You don't want to tour with Lil Papa. Don't do anything no more. Let's run ads. And as soon as he did, he's like, man, I can get all these followers. And I'm like, yes, your page is marketable. You don't have to do anything else.
That is facts, man. So what brought you to the A?
Of course, after I was stationed down there at Fort Benning. And after I left Fort Benning, I just came straight to Atlanta because it was so funny. Because and shout out to Sergeant Lumford. He could have got in trouble for doing this. I find Sergeant Lumford and tell him thank you. He would actually let me because at my first internship I was still in the military. Yeah. But he knew I was getting out, and he would actually let me like go up and do my internship And without, yeah, he'll tell us,
so
yeah, he'll tell the first story, like, yeah, he's been, you know what I'm saying? He'll look out for me, but you know, I was supposed to be showing up, but he let me go do this internship, so it'll always be shout out. I already love her.
Absolutely, my son did his basic training at Fort Benning, and it was a great experience for him. He loved it there, and I wish he could have probably stayed there, but they moved him around, you know. But yeah, it was a great experience. So you're an A&R with Imposition Entertainment, which we briefly mentioned before. You work closely with artists like 42 Doug, Black Youngster, Hitman Audio, SS Money, etc. The list goes on. What does a typical day look like for you as an A&R?
You know what's crazy? It's really not as hard as we make it out to be. Yeah. I think with this game, a lot of times, and I don't want to say it, but a lot of times A&Rs, they're scraping and scrapping for money, and they're using their influence the wrong way. And with me, it's like I don't work hard like that. I know what I'm looking for. I know who I want to work with. I don't have to make 1,000. I don't have to make a post and be like, do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? So I found a way to connect with artists on a different level, versus trying to work hard in that area. And like I said, that stuff comes natural. You know what I'm saying? And then also too, being a New Music Monday, that's the easiest thing, because it's like I get to meet all the top artists first.
Yes.
So that was like a gold mine to me. You know what I'm saying? And also too, I know I needed that stamp. Like I tell every artist or something like that, you got to have certain stamps when you get in the industry.
Yes.
It's like you had a mixtape, but your mixtape didn't mean nothing if you didn't have bigger rankings on there.
Right.
You had a beat and you had Zay on there, it didn't mean anything.
Right.
You had to go through certain things of the process. So I think me actually doing that, it makes things easier, and I can focus on. My biggest thing is focus on teaching and training on the upcoming artists. Like I have my marketing. What was frustrating with me is like an artist, and it was breaking my heart. I found that some artists was like taking out loans to work with me. Like, yes, like taking out loans, me and it's like, wow, hold on, I gotta slow back, because I don't want to use my situation for manipulation.
Right. Understood.
So I found a easier way to do this. It's like, okay, well, I have 2 classes a week. We can talk about marketing and stuff like that. So yes, that's I think with that situation, it's more precious to me than A&R, because A&R is natural.
Absolutely, yeah, because you don't want people necessarily going in debt, you know, because let me tell you something, loans and them credit cards, what could take you a month to rack up could take you 30 years to pay off with the interest rates if you're only making minimum payments.
And it's like, these artists don't really need an in-depth campaign. They just need some guidance.
Sure, absolutely. And I feel like, again, that's one of the things that's lacking, because there is not much artist development going on out there. So this is where you can step into place. When you are out scouting for talent, we'll say, maybe even at New Music Monday or other events, what really typically catches your eye or your attention about a particular artist?
The aura. They how well they command the room, what they got on.
Yeah.
To me, the music is kind of like, and I hate to say it like this, but to me, the music is the last thing that we look for. It's like how dedicated you are, how committed you are, because I'm very committed to what I do. I think most artists, they don't understand, like when you get to a level that you're getting paid to do music, we just can't play around with certain things, because this is how we take care of our family. So that's what I look for when I look at an artist. I gotta see myself in them. I gotta be like, dang, I remember when I first started. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember how I was. I used to aggravate Nuke all day. Nuke like, oh, don't call my phone. And I'm like, Nuke, I just got, you know. But he understood, and they always told me, like, bro, when you put this together, you're gonna be special, because you know what to do, how to do it. You just work hard in the wrong direction. And I think that's what was happening when I first started off. Absolutely,
because whether it should be people feel good or bad about this, perception is everything. The way people see you and perceive you. Someone can see you if you're, 300 pounds overweight, you're dressed sloppy, but you could be the most talented, smartest person in the room. Some people are going to judge you based upon that and say, I don't want to work with that person. Sadly, and it shouldn't be that way. So yeah, you're right. Perception is everything. So it's like when you come out, try to put your A game on, and because people will literally. I sat long with Bez. Bez knows talent. He was Biggie's DJ. Like he and I were great friends, and he and I were talking one time, and he was renting a space downtown. It's his office space. And he said that he used to go in there and dress kind of hip-hop-ish or whatever. And he said that people were very standoffish to him. So he said some older white man approached him one day and said, come in here dressed in a suit and see how things change.
It's serious.
He came in, he said he came in one day in a suit. Everybody was greeting him. Hello, how you doing? Perception is everything.
They take you serious.
Yeah.
To me, I'm a very calm person.
Yeah.
I don't talk a lot, but when I step in the room, I'm gonna have on the best gear. I'm gonna have on something that I learned to have on something that just stands out.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It could be something like how I got on right now.
Yeah.
People be like, why is he dressed like that? Or why is he, his fashion? I understand that fashion means everything.
Sure.
So if an artist don't understand that, to me, it's just like, I can't get with him because, like, man, that's your costume. That's like somebody going to McDonald's and I'm not McDonald's, but construction worker. They don't got their boots on. They still toe boots on.
Absolutely. And you can ball out on a budget.
And I still do.
Me too. My whole outfit I got on today is from Shein. You know what I'm saying?
Mine came from Shein too as well. So.
Machine-aholic. Just don't run the tariffs up on me. But it's like you can ball out. Fashion Nova for men has wonderful clothes at a great price. Shein for men has, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't go and buy the Versace's and the Louis and all that when it's not within your budget.
I know when to stunt. Like I said, I had to learn too, because I used to do that too, buy all the design and everything. It's like, ooh, I'm going to debt. But it's like, I know when to stunt, you know what I'm saying? I know when to pop out with it, and I know when to just look nice, look presentable. Because they don't care what I got on. They just want to work with me.
No, absolutely.
So once I understood that concept, it's like, okay, I know where to put my money at.
Correct. Because you can still look like $1 million and only maybe have spent $30 or $40.
Exactly.
It's in how you wear it.
It's how you wear it.
Man. So I know marketing is a thing we spoke about that a lot of artists are missing out on. What do you feel like in music business, a lot of these artists on the rise is one of the biggest things that they're missing out on? Would it be the marketing or something else?
I think where social media messed it up, and I love social media, but a lot of times they're looking at these big artists like Future or somebody like that, and they're seeing the end result, but they never see the startup point. Because of course, nobody's gonna post them sleeping in a car.
Right, exactly.
So these artists is like they're missing steps. They're missing important steps. Like, okay, we gotta work with the DJs, we gotta work with the bloggers, and they're like, now I just gotta get this song on social media. I think that's where we can always teach music business, but it's like, to me, I always feel like I want to teach them something that they can't find in a book, and that would be like commitment, character. Because once I get that in touch, it's like I can get to the business. But of course, in business, they don't understand actually how to do real business. A lot of these guys are, I don't curse, but I don't know how to put, like, street dudes. I'm gonna say street dudes. Yeah. A lot of these guys are street dudes. So they're taking their personality and implementing it in business, and I think that's hurting it.
I agree.
And there's nothing wrong. Trust me, we need the street dudes. I tell them, you need you a geek on your squad, and you need the street dudes on your squad. Trust me, we need those, because
it's well rounded.
You gotta have it, but it's just like we got the street dudes handling the geek work. Handling, talking to, to important people, and it just doesn't come out well.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to be mindful of that because it can hinder you more than help you. Like, listen, like you said, you got to have a well-rounded team, but everybody needs to know their position and annihilate that position. Yes. Like, work it. Yes.
You got the music exec trying to act like the artist now.
No, facts. Absolutely. So when an artist comes to you, they're ready to move forward with a campaign. Yes. And besides the money situation, they get that all squared away. When you're ready to start with their campaign, like day one, what is the first thing that you're going to implement for them?
I get to know them. I send them a series of questions because I can't market something if I don't know nothing about it.
Sure.
A lot of these marketers say they're marketers, but they'll be like, okay, we post on this, we post on that. That's PR work. Marketing is actually taking your product and implementing your personality. I can't sit there and I can't be like, make this type of content. Just like promise that, like me, if I made a post, man, oh my good nigga, it's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying?
Understood.
So I can't sit there and be like, man, you need to make these type of posts, and it's not their personality. So the first thing I do is get to know their personality. Then the second thing I find out, religion wise, I get to know the artist themselves. I got to know what I'm marketing, and even if I'm a good fit, because I have a different style of certain things. Like I said, these guys get messages from me at 5 and 6 in the morning, and it's like, if I'm up at 5 and 6 in the morning, and I understand they got jobs and everything, but I'm just saying, like, if I'm up at 5 or 6 in the morning, you got to be up as well, putting in. We're gonna do stuff. I give them tasks for the day. I'm like, okay, you need to do X, Y, and Z for the day, and then we just move on, because I don't want to overload them all at once, because even a lot of these guys that I work with, they get good and to the point where they don't need me no more. And that's what I want to do. I want to set them up to the point where they don't even need me no more.
Yeah.
So I take everything slow so they can repeat the steps.
Understood.
So that's what I do with him. Everything is a process. I make sure I get that record. I'm like, okay, is this a marketable record? Is this record can go in the clubs? Okay, it can't. It's just like I have to figure out a lot of things. So I have to think.
Yes.
So it's really a lot. It's a lot, but it's a little bit.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So once they fill that out, do you ever have times, and of course you ain't got to say with anybody in particular, that you see that their vision and what they're wanting doesn't align with yours and you're like, I can't necessarily work with this person? Or are you willing to give them a shot and see how it goes?
Oh, I do that in the beginning.
Yeah.
I do that in the beginning. And I think that first week shows me if they commit or not. I'll give them money back. I don't care about it.
So they're not bound to it by contract, like you got to stay here.
Oh, no. I do agreement with them.
Okay, which is important.
I do agreement because I want them to know. And like I said, everything's a teaching moment.
Yes.
Because I used to, I feel like if I'm not teaching them about the music business or anything, everything what I do goes hand in hand. It's almost like a boot camp in a sense. I'll be honest, it's almost like a boot camp.
You are military.
Yeah, I think that's how I implement it. But I think, I want them to understand about reading. So that's why I do an agreement. It's not so much about the money, it's about the reading. Because these guys sign anything. They'll sign anything and I'm like, hold on, like, do you understand what you're signing? You know what I'm saying? So it's an agreement. And like I said, if my values and their values don't line, I'm okay. I'm not for everybody because I know I have a different style. But one thing I know with my style is that I'm all about touching your mind.
Yes.
If I can change your mind, I can change everything about you. If I can change your career. And I think that's what I implemented in me because I went through a point in my life where I was depressed and everything. Like I wasn't even doing music for a little bit. Like I was trying to figure out. Now something said, hey, fix you. If you can fix you, you can fix everything else around you. So that's what I implement with them too. I got to know what's going on in your mental health. I got to know what's going on. Like I have to know everything.
Absolutely, because really we all have to take accountability and work on ourselves. I feel like we're constantly a work in progress.
Yes.
Never get comfortable, complacent with where you are because there's always something we could be doing a little bit more of or a little bit better. I made a post a couple months back and it was talking about these artists not reading. That's one of my biggest gripes because I'm very calculated and specific with how I handle business. You see, I send out these forms because I need to get to know a little bit about you. And then I send out the instructions in regards to the interviews. And oftentimes they won't take time to read that. So they'll do the opposite of what I'm asking them to. And so it lets me know that they didn't read. And so I made a post about it. And that was like one of my biggest engaged posts because so many people were agreeing with me. Because I said to them, you're not reading these contracts, you're going to end up in a bad situation and you can't blame anybody but yourself. Because,
they give it to you in black and white to read it. Like I said, but I try to get because it's easy for them to look at, like, they see me with everybody.
Yeah.
And so they're looking at that situation.
Right.
And so it's easy. They'll sign anything. Yeah. I remember I was like that. I sign anything. I just want to work with you. And it's just like, hold on, you know what I'm saying? You don't even know what you're getting yourself into. Don't you know that if I was one of these type of guys and I worked at another label for a brief stint, of course I ain't gonna talk because, but it's like, but I worked there and it was just like, I didn't like what they was doing because like these artists was not reading at all. And they'll have them sign like contracts, 3 months contract, and he would sue them after the first month if they missed payment. But the artist like, I don't have money to pay them. I'm just like,
you should have read the doggone contract.
And it's like, dang, it's messed up on both ends. It's like manipulation on one end, but then the artist is not reading on the end. So it's like, you can't blame them and you can't blame them. So that's why I'm very thorough about reading.
Absolutely. And if you're an artist and you read these agreements and contracts and still don't understand it, get legal representation.
Yes.
That's going to be your best bet. That way they can break it down to you in almost like layman's terms of what that jargon means,
Yes.
Absolutely. So let's talk about what it's been like working with the legendary Grammy award-winning producer, Zaytoven himself, man. Working with him, what type of lessons have you learned, working with somebody of his stature?
The biggest lesson that I have learned, because of course, Nuke and Ro, they're the ones that trained me. They're the ones that showed me how to do the music, in the industry. But Zay really taught me how to be myself and that I can still serve God and still be in the music industry. Because that was like a lot of things I was, kind of dealing with because I'm like, I grew up in the church.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm like Zay in a sense. Like I grew up in the church. I grew up. I mean, I grew up in the hood, but I wasn't in the streets. I tried to do it, but it didn't work for me. I was too nice of a kid to do it. I was too nice of a kid. And so I think Zay taught me, like, man, you really can be yourself and actually do it. And because I had a lot of people tell me, man, you can't be that nice. You can't do this. No, I'm very nice and I'm very firm. And also with me being very nice and very firm, I can be very violent too. You get what I'm saying? So don't get it twisted.
He is a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I can be. So that's why I'm very nice and very kind, because I can get very violent. So, but I think that was the biggest thing I can learn from Zay, was I can be myself and do this music and still go to church and still be a Christian and actually do it, because my job is not to, of course, it's to get artists to the next level, but it's also to get them to the point where I'm grooming them to be young men and young women, and, to go out here and represent themselves well.
Absolutely, because you have to have a certain level of, I don't even know the word I'm looking for. I don't want to say intelligence, but just some integrity about yourself, because I'll tell you, I've been doing this for 14 years, and there are times where artists walk through and they act like they're a 12-year-old, like they're just kind of all over the place. They're loud, they're obnoxious, they want to have their whole crew with them. I won't interview someone like that, because it doesn't make me feel comfortable.
And it hurts the brand.
It hurts the brand, absolutely. So I'm like you, I'm nice, but I'm very firm. We have to be, otherwise people will run right over us. So also too, like you said, Rose and Nuke really kind of showed you the ropes, man. What would you say to them guys for all the things that they've done to you, or for you?
Oh man. Let me tell you, I could never. The only thing I can do right now in this season is to be great at what I'm doing, and to show them that what they taught me and the work they put in me wasn't in vain. Even with them, it's certain people like my man Ski, my man out of South Carolina. Man, he gave me my first opportunity to shoot in his club. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never forget where I came from, because a lot of people gave me an opportunity, but those type of guys, oh man, I'll be forever indebted. Like, somebody of them, I don't care if I'm working with Jay-Z, if they call me and be like, yo, like, Tony, I'm gonna stop what I'm doing and I'm gonna pick up the phone, because they gave me certain opportunities that other people bypassed over me. They could have just bypassed.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm always be indebted to them.
Absolutely, and those are the type of relationships that you don't burn. Those are the type of bridges you don't burn. Like, that's how I feel about my business partner, OG Bigger Rankin. Like, there are times we don't always agree on everything, but we always find a way to figure it out. Like, that's one person I'll never not be friends with, because he helped me from day one. That's how it is.
Yes. And even my partner Julian, you know what I'm saying, who's the actually CEO in the position. Like, people don't understand. They're like, bro, we want to work with him. I'm like, bro, me and him have a different relationship. This man comes to Atlanta and sleep on my couch.
I was going to ask you, where are they incorporated? Like, where are their headquarters at?
Well, he's actually out of Memphis.
Memphis,
He's from Memphis. He's actually in Texas. But, you know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, we got to work out here in Atlanta. Like, gotta be, this is where the Mecca is. So it's like, okay, Tom, come back to Atlanta. So that's what I did, because like I was staying in South Carolina, so I came back. I gotta be in the mix. I'm missing out on everything. Yeah. So it was like, so when I came back, like, we kind of linked up more. Like I said, but that's day one, man. We done slept on the couch. We did everything together. He was really the first one to put the battery in my back to even understand I can even do something like this. Yeah. Because like I said, I didn't know nothing about music, but he hyped me up so much to the point I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? And then his journey was it's crazy how like you can go. I think I had to learn so much to be effective for him, because like he went off, of course he started doing stuff with youngster, getting all these plaques. He went to the Grammys last year. Like, he's doing like some crazy things, and it's like, now it's like, okay, I know how to run a label. I know, you get what I'm saying? So he trusts me now to run a label. So that's why a lot of people like, bro, we want to work, bro. But I'm like, man, I have a different relationship with him. Like I said, he came to Atlanta. I went to his baby birthday party. We went to his, to the what you call that thing? With the plants. What you call them things? What I'm talking about? Oh God. What, the botanical garden? Yeah. Took his daughter to the botanical garden with the class. Like, we have a different relationship. So it's like, the people I work with, I have very close relationship.
Absolutely. They become a part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
They're more than just a business associate. They become like a brother or a family member.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Shout out to the botanical gardens. That's where I went on my birthday too. I went to the Georgia State one in Athens. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Beautiful. Listen, I'm a nature junkie. That's dope. That is so dope. Did you say his name is Julian?
Yeah, Julian.
Shout out to you, Julian.
Yeah, 25 riches on it.
I love it. Definitely. Let's talk about you being a coalition DJ member. Where is it the marketing portion that you helped them with, or tell us, your role with the coalition DJs?
When I first got there, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like I said, I just knew I have to be stamped by them.
Yes.
I have to be stamped by them. So I went there, I was like, hey, I want to join the coalition. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay. And then I shout out to Rich. Rich was like, hey, man, we putting this platform together called Back in the Booth. So that's how I found my way working into there. And, of course, that's how it kind of took off. But like I said, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like I said, I just wanted to be a part of it because I knew you have to get that stamp.
You talking about DJ Filthy Rich?
Oh, Filthy Rich. And no, I'm saying Rich. I'm talking about Rich. Of course, Filthy Rich. But I'm thinking about Rich, the national director.
Got you.
Because I went to him first.
Oh, okay, got you.
I went to him first. And then, of course, you know what I'm saying? He's like, you could work under me, bro. I'm like, okay, cool.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. So it's like, once I started working up under him, and we created this, of course, Back in the Booth, and it's like, okay, well, we can implement you and other things.
Yeah.
But I went there on the intention, not of what I was doing, but on the intention of learning and growing.
Shout out to Lala Shepherd, too.
Yes, that's my girl.
That is my girl. I love me some Lala.
Beautiful spirit.
She's so amazing. She was one of the first people I connected with when I moved here, because she was managing a producer back in the day, and we just connected, and gosh, I love her.
Yes, beautiful spirit.
Shout out to the progress report.
Yes,
skipping class and all that. Definitely.
Yes.
So what do you feel like working in marketing, working with, coalition DJs and, the other businesses that you're working with? What do you feel like that you have to do personally to stay ahead of these industry trends to make sure that you're keeping the artists relevant?
Making sure... make sure they stay in the blogs, make sure they stay in the media, making sure that they're doing everything, basically creating, like I said, the process for them so we can repeat that process.
Yes.
So, for example, if they get a hit record, whatever we did to get that hit record, we're gonna change it up, but we're gonna get right back to work to do it again. You got to keep repeating the process.
Yes.
So I think that's where I'm heading towards now, is just making sure I create a system. Right now I could be getting so much when I can dream everybody, do whatever I want to, but right now it's to me it's about creating a system.
Yes.
And make sure I can repeat the process. Even with me right now, the stuff that I'm doing, I'm gonna do it with the hardest. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because I got a project dropping with DJ Money Moot. And we're gonna get all the music, we're gonna get into the DJs. I was gonna do it bigger first, but I'm from South Carolina, so it's I have to do one in South Carolina.
Yeah.
But like I said, I look up to Bigger. I watch all his interviews, everything. I've even DMs and I've been talking to him and stuff like that. Man, I just love his spirit, and there's certain things that Bigger teach that you ain't gonna learn in a book.
He is the ultimate teacher.
Yes.
That's why I'm forever grateful for him, because he's taught me so much. Him and Kingpin, Rap Juggernaut, they love them. Both of them are like the thesaurus.
Yes. And I was like, in this, I was like, nigga, if I work for you for free and everything, but even though I know he can't put me, because I don't understand, of course he got a million other people trying to do something with him too.
Yes.
But long as him just hitting me back, it meant the world to me. Liking my post, hitting me back, it means the world to me. And like I said, my next project is gonna be with Bigger.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Big.
Yeah, I can do it right now, but like I said, I gotta do certain things in this process.
Absolutely, 100%. So something else, because you got your hands in a lot of different things right now. You're really working hard. You've mentioned working on Boosie's upcoming film Twins.
Yeah.
So what was your role within working on the film, and what type of creativity did you bring to it?
Live producing and just getting on there, whatever they needed me to help with, I was gonna help with. Like I said, it was just an honor.
Yeah.
It was an honor, I don't think sometimes, yes, when you get certain situations, yes, you have to enjoy that win and keep working, but it's just with that one, it was just kind of special to me, because I look, a lot of these guys I look up to. I look up to Boosie, I look up to Zay, I look up to Bigger, so it's just man, I'm almost like a kid again, but I still have to be Big Dawg, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care, but it's like, like, just the opportunity just to be on set, just to learn. Of course, it's like, Al New got me into films.
Sure.
Cause I done worked on him with Big Bang Black. It was like, we did one called Detroit Dreams. I worked with all the top rappers out of there, from Babyface Ray, to Big Bang Black. Everybody was in there. Of course, with Bosch the Movie with Johnny Blaze. So it's like, the films is like something I didn't really want to do, but he got me into it. But not to get off topic, but with working with Boosie, it was just a blessing.
He's such a dope spirit. Just funny, but kind,
very kind,
giving. Like, Boosie puts so many people in a position to win, and I feel like that's why he's so blessed. Because Big always says we don't get our blessings from no man, we get them from God.
Straight up.
So it's like, when you're out here genuinely helping people, like, without the intent of receiving anything back, you're going to continue to be blessed. And that's why all these years later, Boosie's still very, very, very relevant. I was thinking about, it's funny because he crossed my mind this morning, because I'm like, he's one of those artists, even during the time where he had to go sit down for a minute, he came home and he has to stop working. Some artists, they go away, they have to sit down, and they come home and they don't do anything, and then they wonder why they lost their steam. You got to work hard.
You got to work. They don't understand. The last 3 weekends, I done went from Virginia all the way to South Carolina with 42 Dub, doing show. Last weekend, I did a show. I did a music conference in Charlotte. Then I turned around the other day. Then I was with BG and the Rez Deshawn doing a video shoot in up there in Atlanta somewhere. I can't remember. Over there in Lithonia by the church. But a lot of these guys, they don't understand. They think they work with somebody and that's it. It's like them getting a feature on a project and they feel like they won. Nah, you got to keep. Man, no, I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep grinding. Like I don't like being stagnant. Because I'm like, man, they'll forget about me.
They will forget about you. And that's the thing is, a lot of these artists, and something else to be mindful of, just because you have a big social media presence does not mean you have a real life presence. You can have $500,000 or $500,000 followers on Instagram, but you can't sell out a venue. That's where the marketing comes in, because that's going to help you sell out these venues.
Man, it's so crazy. Like, even with my new page and stuff like that, I don't even have to. Right now, I don't even have to leave home. Like, I don't have to, because I've built up a cult following. These guys believe in me. They believe in the brand. They believe in what I'm doing.
Yes.
They see me working. They see, like, you got to work just as hard as me. You got to work just as hard as me, and we're going to work hard in the right direction.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You don't ever want to work with an artist where you're outworking them on their campaign. They got to work just as hard.
Work just as hard as me. And I say this, yes, it takes money to make money. We all have to have money.
Sure.
But also, too, I'll take a hard-working artist who's just got barely enough that's going to work, because I can work with that.
Yes.
Versus I can work with somebody who's going to buy their way, because they don't understand the hard work. I came in hard work. That's why a lot of artists don't want to work with me. I came in hard work. I didn't came in sleeping in the car.
Yeah.
I didn't get whatever you think to try to make it. Just try to get out and slept in the car, stole food at the gas station to eat, sleeping. Like my second internship at Authentic Empire, I was still sleeping in the car.
Man, shout out to Boom Man.
Shout out to Boom Man, because he gave me an opportunity. Like I said, I'm always in depth. Like, we wasn't able to work more on an in-depth level because I was working with Tyreek, the A&R, but the gems I learned from, I just implement it in what I'm doing now. I take things that I see from people, I learn it, and I implement it.
Absolutely, because something I say all the time is that relationships will put you in places that money cannot.
Exactly.
It's not always about the money. There's certain rooms you can't buy your way into. You have to have a relationship to walk through that door. So, you've been building relationships for many, 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 many years. And of course, yes, we all got to make money to eat and live and survive, but that shouldn't be your first focus.
The biggest thing I learned from Big Rankus, I was like, why is he at his age is still relevant?
Yeah.
Is because he built a brand that people trust.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people are not trying to build a brand that people can trust. I like, dang, Bigger been around.
He in his 60s.
In his 60s.
Outworking a lot of y'all.
Outworking on it. And I'm like, man, I'm going to take that from him.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was kind of like, I never hosted a mixtape before. But I was like, man, Bigger, but it was a reason why Bigger was hosting mixtape. No, I'm not going to be on this mixtape talking because I got the DJ for that.
Yeah.
But it's like, just to host a mixtape and get these artists and get back to the basics. Man, we got to get back to the DJs. We got to get back to because equally important. See, the problem is with social media, they're making it feel like people are not equally important. In this game, everybody's still equally important.
I agree. And there's a lot of people who will try to make you feel inferior and whatnot. And, you know, you just have to be mindful and pick and choose the people that you choose to surround yourself with. Choose that wisely, because not everybody has your best intentions in mind. And some people will, in a matter of a short period of time, can come in and tarnish your brand. So you have to be mindful. So anybody that's looking to break into the industry, whether it's an artist, an executive, someone behind the scenes, what's the first piece of advice or tip that you could offer them? And they're just starting out. They're like, man, I want to do what you do.
Ooh. Find out what you're weak at and then become strong at. And then find out what you really want to do. Don't like take things from people and study them. Become a master of it. A lot of these guys, like I said, they're looking at the end product, and it's just like they're not focusing on the beginning. You know, that's like my biggest thing I had to learn. Like, who inspires you? Take certain things from them and implement it in you, and then take what you want to do and just kind of like, and write the vision down. Gotta write the vision.
Have a vision board.
Yes, I write the vision down, what I want. Like I wrote on my vision board, I want to do this, I want to do this, I write my vision down there too as well.
I think having something like that, whether you actually buy like a whiteboard or even if you put it on your phone, whatever it may be, somewhere that you're going to see it often, holds you accountable to get it done, to make it happen, to find out what steps you need to take to make it happen. That's so important, definitely. You, with all the things that you're doing right now, if you don't mind sharing, what are a couple big goals that you're currently manifesting?
Ooh, I want to take our brand to the next level. I want it to be one of the biggest brands in the next 6 months. One of the biggest brands in the next 6 months that's built off of trust, and you know, and kind of like love. Like I think we kind of got away from that. You know, I want to be able to like mentor a lot of people and stuff like that. Like that's my biggest goal. Is I want to be able to mentor them, because you know we have to touch their hearts in a sense.
Absolutely.
And then the second one, I want to have an artist I'm working with in Atlanta. They got one of the biggest records on the radio. That's my second goal. And my third goal, career-wise, would definitely be managing one of the top artists that's going to be coming up. Like that's what I want to do. So it's like breaking an artist.
So it's safe to say that you are actively seeking talent that you can work with on that level.
Yes.
Okay, so for any artist that may see this and they're like, man, that's who I need to go to and work with, what's the best approach for them to come to you?
With their stuff, what they really want to do. Like I don't want to think for you. Like I want you to come to me and be like, okay, this is what I want. Tone, I want to have 10,000 followers. I want to have okay, I want your stuff to be detailed. I don't want to be like, I want to be the next top rapper.
Yeah.
Because like, I'm not Jesus Christ.
That's too big. Yeah, exactly.
Like a lot of these guys come to me, and that's why I had to make the post yesterday. Like, I understand it, but y'all come to me like I'm Jesus. I'm not Jesus. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't control who likes you. Only thing I can control is where I get you from point A to point B. And to train you up and to change your mind about how you think about yourself and how you think about your craft.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to get people like you. So it's like, I think most times when artists come to me, they're coming to me so vague.
Very vague.
So I want them to come with like more detailed goals.
Absolutely. So open the notepad on your phone or something and make bullet points, like very detailed. Exactly. I want to have a song that's on radio in the southeast region. Like, be specific.
Then it's like, as a marketer, I know what to do.
Where to target.
Exactly. Because like prime example, the artist I'm working with now, he's like, I want my records on the he's from Connecticut, but he want his records down here in Atlanta. I'm like, that doesn't work. It's like, wow,
make it make sense.
We got to make it make sense. So it's like, one thing what Nuke taught me about breaking records is it got to start off one place and it got to spread out like a disease. Yes. And so I'm like, no, we got to target here. And they don't understand, like, man, my city don't rock me. You know how many people in your city?
Exactly. That's a great place to start.
That's
because
the perfect place to
you're
start.
there all the time. So if you quickly need to get out and go to a show or pop up an event, you're not having to book a flight. Start in your market, work your way up. Makes perfect sense.
They're worrying about the 10 people or 20 people that may not like you.
Yeah.
If you're doing something, I tell any artist, if you're doing something that's popping and that's marketable, they're going to support you.
And you're worrying about the wrong thing too. Don't worry about the people who don't like you. Focus on the ones who do.
Exactly.
Big difference.
Big difference. And I think that's the thing. They're like, man, I done did this. A lot of times they think just because they go to the studio and they put out a song on the internet that they're doing something. To me, that's nothing. Like, that's like going to the store and get candy. Like, anybody can do that.
Exactly. 100%.
Anybody can do that. But if you're doing something that, like, wow, I can't believe they're doing it, or just making content that touches people and stuff like that, that's how you get people attention. That's how you get broken. That's how, like, one of my posts the other day, I literally left the gym and I got so many shares and I'm like, wow, something so simple like this. Like, I'm just talking about being nice and kind, but it's just like, they can feel it.
Yes.
People can feel your energy and feel who you are as a person. So it's just like, that's my biggest thing with the artist. Just be yourself.
Exactly. Because I feel like when you are 100% yourself, you attract the right people.
Mm-hmm.
You attract the people who are going to like you for you.
Mm-hmm.
Stop putting these facades on. Who wants to walk around doing that every day?
It's hard. And I was like that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm able to teach this now because I was like that. Because I had people like, bro, you just too nice. You can't do this. You want to. And I'm just walking around here being this big macho. And it's like, man, you ain't got to do all that, man. Your bark, your bite is way vicious than your bark.
Yeah.
The stuff I'm doing, it attracts way more attention than me talking about I'm the biggest.
That's like, speaking of dogs, the little bitty ones be the ones that bark the most. Their bark is bigger than their bite type, because they literally, they feel like they gotta be the big dog because they're so little.
Mm-hmm.
Just be yourself.
Yeah, that's it.
You'll attract the most organic people.
I'm telling you, it's so funny. I have to turn down so much stuff just by being myself now. With a little bit of following versus when I had the big following.
Yes.
Because the big following was kind of like based on a facade.
Listen, I've often thought about, because I've had my social media for many, many, many years and built it up organically, but I feel like when I had a smaller following, it was more like just loving and natural, and like you said, it becomes this facade, and it's like, do I at some point want to start a new Instagram? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I even thought about, like, on my Facebook, there's so many people I want to delete off there now that I don't even associate with anymore. I'm like, I don't want them in my business like that. Like, sometimes you gotta purge and clean up shop a little bit.
Yes, you do.
So any artist that's out there that sees this and they may want to work with you on any level, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Everything is on I am the Big Dawg Tone. Like that, I just created like that, so it's simple. Of course, that's marketable branding. That's why I did it. I am Big Dawg Tone.
Yeah.
Everything, TikTok, Instagram, anything.
Absolutely. Throughout this conversation, you definitely, paid homage and gave thanks to a lot of people. Anybody else that you want to, again, give thanks to, or any new people that you didn't mention you want to give thanks to for supporting you through your journey?
I definitely have to sit there and say, Ski, of course, Toya. I have to sit there and say, like I said, them two basically, because they're like my rocks. You know what I'm saying? They're like my rocks, and like I said, with them, like because they care about me on a personal level. It's like I don't want to keep naming them, but like them two, there was the only two that sit there and said I can sit there and say like believes in me.
Yeah.
Without 100%, like no doubt. Like of course you got aunties and everything, so like my aunt Keisha, and I love my aunt Keisha. I love all my aunties. Tasha. They love me and stuff like that. But we're talking about die-hard believers. You know what I'm saying? Somebody like I don't have a bunch of people in my ear because I don't like getting so spiritual. But I gotta be spiritual. Like right now I'm in seed form. You know what I'm saying? So I have to be careful with a bunch of people telling me things. So I don't have a bunch of people in my ear because they can kill what I'm trying to do right now. So it's like I keep my circle very small with this situation because it can be huge. Yeah. It can be very huge, but if I'm moving a certain type of way or I'm doing things a certain type of way, it can get killed. So I really don't have like a big kind of like I love everybody. I work, but it's just like them two is like my rock.
Trust me, and what's understood don't have to be explained. Like one thing I've really adopted in my life is learning to tell people no without explaining myself. Not everybody deserves that explanation. Like I'll get people who ask me to come to events, and to be all the way honest, I don't really go to events. I go to daytime events. I don't like going to nighttime events. I like to be home, safe, in my bed, ready to go to sleep. I'm much older than a lot of y'all. They don't understand.
They don't understand.
Why you don't want to come to strip club? I'm like, I'm 51 years old. I have no desire.
And then me, I'm like, man, y'all, I go to church on Sunday.
Right,
They see, like, for example, I was with Doug and them last week. They see me throwing money in the strip club. I love the Lord, but it's just like, man, I don't want my church to see me throwing money.
Facts.
So absolutely. I think that's what it is, too.
Got to be mindful of how how it moved. Well, I definitely appreciate you coming through today.
Like I said, it's an honor.
Sharing your journey.
It's
you know,
an honor.
any artists out there, make sure you guys tap in, or, you know, probably even small business and things of that nature.
I'm willing to work with anybody as long as it just makes sense and we're protecting their brand.
Absolutely. We out of here, y'all.
Yes.